There are a lot of people in a rush to say they are leaders, they are running for elections. I do not know who appointed them. I do not know where they were elected as leaders. I do not know who told them that they are the best suited candidates to run for the presidency. And I do not know who told them the presidency is the most important thing right now for Kenyans. Because a revolution is not about the presidency. A revolution is not about who will be considered the leader for everyone. A revolution, first and foremost, is aimed at overhauling the existing structures and transforming them to become pro-people. I will attempt to speak briefly about 1, 2, 4, and 5. One, on the People's Charter. For a People's Charter to be, my view is that for a People's Charter to be, number one, understood, appreciated, and accepted more or less generally by the people, their input need to be integrated in the charter. I do not know myself who drafted the charter or where it was drafted, and I've not been able to provide an input on the charter. And I know there are many people like me. So I would not want to talk about something that I've not interacted with. It is important that we interact with the draft. I always say the person who frames the issues or the questions determines the answers. So if a group of people sat and conceived of issues and answered them, then obviously they are the ones who came up with the charter. It may well be that it's broadly representative of the general aspirations of the people, but I've not been able to interrogate that. Two, I believe that the issues that affect Kenyans and for which they are struggling against are understood by the majority of the people. I also believe that you do not need the agreement or concurrence of everyone to be able to execute a liberation movement for their benefit. There is no unanimity in any community or society, and Kenya is not an exception. Number two, on the need for a scorecard or code of conduct, this one I don't believe is relevant in the sense that we already have a constitution with chapter 6, which has integrity provisions, which with expectations of what leaders can or cannot or should not do. And to me, that is sufficient. I do not know who it is that will arrogate himself or herself with the mandate of drafting another one apart from what is already contained in the Constitution. And I do not know the mandate this group or person will have over the so-called leaders or who will have appointed them leaders. And this is because my understanding of a revolution may be different from what other people understand. There are a lot of people in a rush to say they are leaders, they are running for elections. I do not know who appointed them. I do not know where they were elected as leaders. I do not know who told them that they are the best suited candidates to run for the presidency. And I do not know who told them the presidency is the most important thing right now for Kenyans. Because a revolution is not about the presidency. A revolution is not about who will be considered the leader for everyone. A revolution, first and foremost, is aimed at overhauling the existing structures and transforming them to become pro-people. And during the process of overhauling and restructuring the system, a leader will emerge. To me, that is a better approach. You do not put the cart before the horse. I have seen people declare they're running, and a lot of these people, I can confess, have not been involved in the transformation of Kenya. A lot of them are my age mates, and they were not fighting against Moi. They never did. They were not fighting the one-party state. They did not fight tribalism under Kibaki or corruption under Kibaki. And even right now, since Uhuru became president and now Ruto, they have not fought against human rights violations. All they have been focused about are contracts, tenders in government, and that these tenders were not processed the way they are supposed to be. To me, that's a side issue. Anybody who is focused on money matters and not on human rights violations do not know the heart of this constitution. This constitution is not about tenders. This constitution is not about contracts. This constitution is actually not about the economy. This constitution is about human rights, the basic dignity of a Kenyan. If you do not understand that, you cannot lead the people, because everything is about the people. We cannot have an economy without the people. The economy is built by the people. And a people who are tortured, who are abducted, who are killed, cannot develop an economy. So that's where my focus is. The heart of the Constitution of Kenya is the Bill of Rights, not any other part of it. The Bill of Rights is what keeps the Constitution together. And if you don't adhere to the Bill of Rights, everything else falls apart. So that's my opinion. And I believe it is a correct opinion, because you cannot lead a people who are tortured. The issue of Bangladesh. So whether or not we go the Bangladeshi way, I do not know actually what that means. But if I understand it correctly, I believe it seeks to find a way of the mode of carrying out the revolution. Should it be on the street by the people from all generations, marching to remove an oligarchical regime from power so that they have an opportunity to transform their country? I believe that 100%. These people may have different reasons for doing it. And these people may not be from one ideological orientation. But what they want, as I said, is basic dignity for their citizens and for their taxes to go towards prosperity for the majority of the people. They want dignity, they want rule of law, they want human rights respected, and they want to take control of their country and steer it to whatever direction that the majority of the people aspire to. I fully embrace that. Now, in Bangladesh, this movement was largely led by the students, university students, like most movements in the world. In Cuba, it was also led by mainly university students. In many other parts of the world, it's been led by either university students or former university students, but generally the youth that have a clear ideological orientation, of course, with the participation of other members of society. So I fully embrace that. And I think, yes, that is a persuasive orientation of a movement that I think can be embraced and emulated by Kenyans. A struggle is an ongoing process. If you wait until you think you have analyzed all the issues, all the factors, and you have arrived at a bulletproof answer, then you will wait until Jesus comes. And I don't know when that is. So we don't have that latitude.